Good morning, good morning, good morning, all my good people out there. How y'all feeling, man? Happy Monday, fresh off the weekend. Welcome to Trade Genius Live. I am your host, Trend Genius, and we are in the building. I'm feeling a little under the weather today, just a little bit. Got some little nose and throat stuff going on, bro. I don't know what's going on with that. But hey, we in here. I said I'm gonna rock the hoodie today. So we in here, man. How y'all feeling this morning? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Let me see who in here. Benjamin, good morning, my brother. Absolutely. Let's get this Monday started correctly. Absolutely. Jay Royal said we in here like swimwear. That's what's up. Kick Rocks, good morning. Good morning. Double M. He said I want that hoodie. That's what's up. Hey, they coming soon, brother. They coming. Alfie, good morning. Bodovan, good morning. Good morning. How y'all feeling out there, man? How y'all feeling today? Everybody had a good weekend? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Trend Genius is feeling good, bro. Like I said, little sinus, something going on. I'll be sleeping with the window open and fans on and stuff, so who knows? It's all good. We ain't stopping nothing. Wayne Lord, good morning. Yeah, same here, Mike. Absolutely. We had a little mini one. Chrissy, good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Chrissy, when I see your picture, I just gotta laugh. Every time I see your picture now, I just crack up to myself. Like my sister, my sister said, "No, I'm putting a picture up here. We ain't playing." But I hope y'all had a good weekend. How's everybody feeling? How are you guys feeling? How's everyone weekend? Let me know. Had a good weekend, okay weekend. Kaz, Grand Risings, my brother. Good morning. How y'all feeling, man? How was y'all weekend? Let me know how was y'all weekend. Dilson, good morning. Good morning. I want to know how was y'all weekend. Mike, how was your weekend? Chrissy, how was your weekend? Kaz, how was your weekend? Twyla, how was your weekend? Looks like a bullish day. That's what's up. Bodovan, how was your weekend? Alfie, how was your weekend? Double M, how was your weekend? Kick Rocks, how was your weekend? Benjamin, how was your weekend? I'm hitting y'all individually. How was y'all weekend? What y'all do? Anything exciting? Anyone back tests? What y'all do? I want to know. What do we do? Had a great weekend, Jerome. That's what's up. Serena, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How was y'all weekend? Let me know. How was y'all weekend? I'm interested to know. Anything exciting anybody do this weekend? I did nothing exciting this weekend. Weekend was sensational. I guess that would be in future voice. Sensational. Yeah. Mine was okay. It was busy. That's what's up. Good morning. How was your well, good morning, Taylor Pruitt. Alfie said his weekend was busy. Kick Rock said he had a great weekend. What we got? Feel a little bit frustrated with back testing over this weekend. Okay. Had a good ride. Had bugs for lunch. That's what's up. Philip Powers back testing. That's what's up. That's what's up. Weekend was great. Some water fun. Glad these kids are back in school. What about you? My weekend was cool. I had like a bunch of paperwork stuff that I had to do this weekend. So that's really all I did. Literally all weekend. For 2 days, I sat down and just sat on my sofa with my laptop and was just taking care of all of that stuff. I still have more to do. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just kind of going through it daily. It's some information that I have to have filled out for something that I have going on, and the lists are long. So I just been doing them. I think there's like 12 spaces or 15 spaces on the list. So I just been going, knocking them out like that. So I don't know. I feel like there we go. All right, there we go. Excuse my voice, y'all. It's a little, little weird sounding. I got a little sinus stuff going on, but I'm good. Let's see here. Let me get back. Okay, Chrissy said that. Bodman said that. We got Mike. Serena had a rested weekend with the family. Some back testing on HSS. Nice. Empress said good morning. Good morning. My sister day weekend. I'm gonna be B-Day weekend. I'm gonna be at grandpa's. That's what's up. Gonna be at your abuelo's house. That's what's up, bro. Without prejudice. What up? Wayne Lord said he had a great weekend. That's what's up, man. Just checking in on y'all. I asked because I sincerely be wanting to know how was y'all weekend? How'd y'all do? Anything exciting? Great weekend. Spring break is over. Kids back in school. Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, for me, just taking care of paperwork. Literally, that's all I did. Soak It Insider. Good morning, brother. Yeah, just took care of paperwork. Really, just sat there and really just did that all day. Took breaks, stood up, walked around a little bit, went back, sat down, and was just knocking it out. Kang. Good morning, Kang. Yeah, that was it. That was it for me. Um, Real simple. So that's how it's going to be for the next couple of weekends because I have to get that stuff done. I have a lot to do for that, but it's cool. I'm not behind like no time crunch or nothing like that. I just got to get it done. So I'll get it done within the next few weeks. I'll have it finished. All right, let's had a beer league tournament. Bro was sick. Oh, okay. Great weekend with the hubby. That's what's up, Twyla. That's what's up, you guys. So everyone looked like they had a pretty productive weekend. That's what I wanted to. That's what I was looking for. Some of us back tested. I didn't get any back testing in. Actually, I did a couple of things for the stream. That was it. I was really locked into my list of things that I had that stuff that I had to take care of. I was telling you guys. So I was locked in there. But other than that, that was pretty much it. So let's jump in the news. I'm sure y'all seen what happened on the chart around 4 o'clock. Detail my vehicle. It was 85 in Minnesota. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you got a nice sweat in, my brother. Soak It Insider. You got a nice sweat in. All right, let's get to some news. Nothing really popping today. Nothing really going on. We have this yellow folder, construction spending. I don't think that's going to hit neither here nor there. Nothing really going on today on news. It's pretty quiet. Pretty quiet for a Monday. So we'll jump on the charts. I don't know if y'all was looking at this, but I saw this when I was like, what's going on here? But I know Trump had said something. I watched Scout's video on reversal zones. Oh, that's what's up. That's a great video, like 3 hours long. I was on that. Yeah. I was a part of making that video. I was in there for 3 hours. But that was a great video. That is a great video. Great video. But yeah, y'all saw this, right? Trump tweeted something, or Truth Social, whatever he uses. Are you Juvier or his brother? You look alike. That's too funny. We're not blood brothers, but we're brothers though. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely my brother, as far as my extended family. But we're not blood brothers. But that's what's up. That means if you say that we look alike, that means he's pretty handsome. That's all I would say. he's pretty. What you call me? Trend of. That's too funny. Trendavier. That's my name now. Trendavier. I love it. Not Juvier. Trendavier. I love it. But yeah, he's a handsome guy. If he looks like me, man, that's what's up. We got to let him know that. Somebody got to let him know that he looks like Trent. He's a handsome guy. Yes, he is. That's too funny. That's what's up, Shy. That's what's up. Good morning to you. But yeah, so I guess when we see stuff like this, we know a lot of this stuff is, somewhat manipulated, meaning, it was some news. It was something that came out that got this rocking like this. But yeah, so sheesh. That's overnight right there. We got about 5 minutes for the open. Let's kind of see how the week started. So Sunday night open. Let me open this up a little bit so we can see it. Sunday night open. We had a huge gap from here, gap down, huge gap down. And price was bullish, kind of stayed into this reversal zone. Let's see here. This is all of Australia. Asia comes in at 5. So right here, Asia came in. kind of pretty much did the same thing. Asia did not take Australia highs, so this is Asia high here. Let's see here. This would be, where was Asia low? Asia low would be, let's go to the 5 minute, knock some of this noise out. All right, so open this up so we can break this down. So this is Asia high right here. All of everything, let's see here. Everything from 5, where are we at? Oh, no. Sorry, this is the Asia high right here. Because remember, Asia starts at 5 p.m. my time. So 5 p.m. going back is all Australia. 5 p.m. going forward will be Asia. So this is Asia's high. It did not take out Australia's high. And then let's see what we got. 11 o'clock, which is here. London came in right here. So yes, this would be Asia's high here, and this would be Asia's low. The lowest point Asia went. Yes, before London kicked in. Yes, because London kicks in here. Okay, so London did take out Asia's low, and it also took out Asia's high on this candle. So sentiment of the day is with London taking out Asia's high and taking out Asia's low, possibly could be a choppy day today. So let's see here. Good morning, sis. Here's a reminder you sent me. Don't forget to ask about in the chat about the numbers up. Yes, that's right, Jerome. So I need to give you those 2469725 for 2025. Just put it on your chart. You can see mine right here in green. Just drop it on your chart, my guy. Good morning, Antonio. How you feeling, brother? Lost my first ever live trade yesterday. Thought NG was going to go long after Qatar attack. Stopped me out. And oh, you was trading overnight session on NG. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with NG at all. I do not know nothing about NG. Nothing. All I know is, well, I mean, I know what it is, but Juvier used to trade it. So yeah, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. So as we stated, did you get that, Jerome? 8% line. Hopefully you got that on your chart. Woke up a little late, but made it before market open. Yes. Yep, we got a couple minutes until that time. So let's just run back through this real quick. So the way that we get our bias for the day is, what we do is we check from 5. Let's go here. So from 5 p.m., which is here, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., right? Right here, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right. So we know, tripping, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That'll be Asia, right? And we compare that to 11 to 2. 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. All right, what did price do in between that time? It did sweep Asia lows. It didn't sweep Asia highs. It swept Asia highs after that time. So today, the sentiment today would be, since London took out Asia lows, and it did take out Asia highs after that 11 to 2 time frame. So we're looking for price to possibly be a little choppy for the day. That's my little sentiment bias, how I do it on NQ. And we'll get it. I'm making a video to get into that a little bit, go a little bit in depth on that. I got this alarm ringing in my ear. Hold on one sec. All right, cool. So market just opened. But yeah, I'm making a video on that's going to explain how do I choose my bias using Asia, London, and New York session. So how I choose my bias for a New York session. I'm making a video for that. So I'll give you guys on the video to be a lot more in depth on how I do that. And what do we look for? What do we mark out? It's real simple. It's real simple. I do the same thing every morning. And then not only that, you never be married to your bias. It's just something just to keep, to kind of put in your brain to just kind of look at, think about. All right, so on the 1 minute, what do we have? Market opened, and price might come down here and take this liquidity. A lot of liquidity down here, with price being all the way up there. A lot of liquidity down here. So let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. What we got in here? Soy Sizzle, what's up, my brother? Yes. Yeah, there is one for, good morning, Ray. There is one for, let me make sure I tapped in everybody. All right, cool. Y'all know I don't want to miss nobody. Soy Sizzle. Let's go, NQ Sniper. Absolutely. Yeah, for it is 28,511. Jerome, 2026. It's 28,511. 8% line for 2026. I'm typing in the chat for you. Boom. There it is. Just you can slap that on your chart. Everyone can slap that on their chart. Go to 28,511. Draw a green line similar to this one or whatever color that you like. Put 8% line. You can text that in there. It's very easy. And just put 8% line 2026 on 28,511. 28,511. 24,697. 25 is the 8% line for 2025. 28,511 is the 8% line for 2026. Done for the day. Scalp 393 at the open. Nice. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That's what's up. There you go. Where can you go and make a quick 393? You know, for some clicks. You're welcome, Jerome. No problem, brother. You're for some clicks and you're done for the day. Can't do that nowhere but here. That's what's up. All right, what we got? What we got for news for the rest of the week? I'm just trying to see here. Let me get something going on. So tomorrow we have PMI. Today could be a rangy day. Remember we talked about the characteristics of NQ before news days. Yeah, PMI tomorrow. That's really it. Oh, and the Richmond Manufacturing Index, that's orange folder, but still something to consider because it's orange. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, unemployment claims. And Friday, just consumer sentiment, orange folder. So we don't really have that much of a busy news week this week. But of course that can change. But just looking at it right now, it's pretty quiet on the news. A lot of overnight stuff going on, as you can see, all this red folder in Europe and Britain, Australia. So if you're trading overnight session, just be careful there tomorrow. And yeah, so could be a little ranging today. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we get. It's a nice little chop box right here. It's a nice one. Nice little chop box right there. Is anybody looking at anything? What y'all looking at? Curious. Let me know what y'all looking at. What's y'all sentiment for the day? Bias, bullish. What's your bias for the day? Bullish, bearish? What y'all got? Let me know. What's y'all sentiment for the day? Are we bullish bias or are we bearish bias for the day, y'all? What y'all got? Ooh, I got a good question today, too. What y'all got? Possible shorts, bearish. That's what y'all looking at. Serena looking at shorts. Double M looking for buys. Yeah, you know what? I'm expecting price to recover some of this. This huge, as my sister would say, this unhealthy price action right here. Sideways. Gotcha. Bear sideways. I'm watching silver right now looking bullish. Got it. Benjamin says sideways. Yeah. Ranging. Possible. You in sales? That's what's up, sis. You must have took a break. You must have took this breakout up here, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm expecting price to do something bearish to pretty much correct this right here. It's a lot of orders sitting in here. It's been tapped in there, but there's a lot of orders sitting right here. You see these huge fair value gaps. So that's not the only reason why I'm expecting it to be bearish. That's just one of the reasons. I'm expecting price to recover some of this and take some liquidity from down here, possibly. I mean, it's a good distance, but it's not like NQ can't get down there. So we'll see. We'll see. Unhealthy price action, absolutely. You best believe that's what this is. Unhealthy price action. What's that? That's 1, 2. That's like 5 minutes of candles, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes of candles. Haha, you know me well. I'm up 2K. That's what's up. Of course. Of course. I know you pretty well. Yeah, not too much volume. Let me see what price open right here. This is the opening candle. And look at just kind of not giving us really no definitive direction. Okay, took off bullish off the chart box. So we'll see. We'll see. Bullish for you. That's what's up, Cos. That's what's up. Based on the previous sessions, we should be choppy. We should be choppy. We should be choppy. But like I said, I'm expecting price to do some type of recovering here. These are some huge fair value gaps. Also, too, these some huge candles. Look at some of these candles don't even have wicks on them. Let's see. No, they don't. Look at that. A little tiny one there, but like this one don't have no wick at all. This one has a little wick. Some pretty strong candles. And some huge fair value gaps at the same time. So we'll see. We'll see. What we got? Oh, my bad, y'all. Thanks, Soy. I be changing my screens, y'all, and I be so like caught up in what's going on. I be like, my bad, y'all. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, a lot of this unhealthy price action right here. Little consolidation area. I'm expecting price to make up some of this. That's what I'm expecting. Unhealthy price action, and there's liquidity down here as well. So we'll see. We'll see. We don't know how many traders full ported here, if they did or not. But we know it's some liquidity on the sell side, and we'll just see what we get. We have news tomorrow. Price is not giving us a definitive direction. Market's been open about 10 minutes, so we'll see. We'll see. It's not really that much volume. You can see price is just kind of moving sideways, consolidating a little bit. Not really too much of anything. We don't have no news popping in today. Yeah, no news today. So we'll see. Thanks, Soy. Appreciate you. That's right, Chrissy. My bad, y'all. Get me together. Get me together. Get me together. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at right now. As y'all can see, ain't too much volume. Let's see here. What's the volume on this candle? 5.14. 5.14K. This one. Yeah, volume's a little low right now. We'll see. We'll see. Good morning, Angie. Thanks for stopping in. Hanging with us this morning. We just looking at the charts. Not really too much going on. No news today. We have some news tomorrow. With that said, considering overnight session and news tomorrow, expecting price to be a little rangy today, but we'll see. Price has some area to recover too. We have some stuff here that we can recover. This was a tweet this morning. I don't know what was said on the tweet. I was just told there was a tweet from Trump, something that he stated. If anyone knows what the tweet is, could you put it in the chat? I would love to know exactly what he said. What is full porting? Full porting is just like You see a candle going in a direction and you just jump in and you just like take it, full porting. It's not anything that you want to do. Let me say that. It's not anything that you want to do. You don't want to be full porting unless you're on a demo account and you playing around. But you never full port on your live account. But that is like, I don't know if you would consider over leveraging, but it's really just jumping in, just seeing a candle going and I'm just jumping in and I'm just going with it. Yeah, we don't want to be full porting at all. But I'm sure there were some traders that did when they saw these candles take off. And if they depend on where they got in, they made some cool little money. That's not anything that I would advise anyone to do on this call, but I know that it happens. So yeah, too much of nothing. He said he's not blowing up Iran power plants yet. Okay. So that caused this spike? Wow, that's a trip. For sure. LOL, gotcha. Yeah, kick rocks. We don't want to do no full porting, bro. But that name you kind of figured it out. You're like, oh yeah, that gotta be over leveraging is pretty close. Pretty close. But yeah. So no definitive direction if you're strategy trading. You have some strategies you're working with. Let's see what we got here. 6:15. All right, so have a 15-minute strategy that may not play out. He postponed a military strike on Iran for 5 days. Gotcha, sis. Okay. Then I can see why we had this crazy spike then. Wow, look at that. That's the 15-minute candle. Just took off. Claimed they had good talks. Not sure if we believe that part yet. Right. We honestly don't really know what to believe. No matter who's in there, in my opinion, we really don't know what to believe. I'm not saying that what's said is a lie. I'm not stating that. It's just not a political statement. I'm just saying we really don't know what to believe. We just have to listen to what's said. It's really hard to believe something. You really just don't know. So, but hey, we'll see, right? Only time will tell. Time will tell. So 5-minute chart, same thing on a 5-minute. Thing just took off. So now we're playing in this huge gap, in this huge fair value gap right here. You see this candle and this candle made this huge fair value gap. So price, see market open here. Price just kind of going sideways. It's kind of continuation of what it was doing already. All right. So with that said, let's jump over here and get into some questions. Yeah, don't really know what to believe with that, unfortunately. It's really hard to say. Really, truly hard to say. But excuse my voice, y'all. I had a little sinus stuff going on, but I'm cool. So with our question of the day, I just went right into it. Where is NQ likely to go next and why? Anybody have any idea where NQ is likely to go next and why? This is a great time to ask this question too. It's funny how I'm telling you, I picked these questions and these tips of the day, and it's funny how they go right with what's going on the chart. It's crazy. I'm also on the West Coast, but why is my chart 20 seconds ahead of your chart? I'm using TradingView on TEF. Good question. It could be the dashboard, whatever TEF is going through. I'm on straight TradingView, so it could be the dashboard. I ran refuted his claims. I would not even doubt that, Miss Destiny. Morbid Drifter. Thanks for being in the building, brother. Thanks for showing up. That's what's up. I ran, of course, Miss Destiny. Of course they did, right? Like you already know, like whatever you say, Iran gonna be like, nah, we ain't say that. Like, no, They just bucking. They bucking at every turn. Hey. That's what works for them. I'm not saying anything. If that's what works for them, that's what works for them. But yeah, I'm not surprised, Miss Destiny, at all. But yeah, so going back to the question of the day, where is NQ likely to go next and why? Anybody have an idea on that? What is NQ targeting? Where is it likely to go next? What do y'all think? Let me check. Let's check. Yes, 15-minute Banger is invalid. Good call. Good call. Yep. Checking the daily and weekly. Overall bullish. We have broke trend. We have broke trend yet, even though we're day trading. Absolutely. Haven't. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you, sis. Yes. Yep. So tell me, y'all, where's NQ likely to go and why? Y'all let me know what y'all think. So think about it. Every move has a reason, right? Like every move that NQ makes, it's a reason why that move was made. We know this. This move was news. That we know for a fact. That's, we know that already. This move was news. So considering how we opened, price is pretty much ranged, went sideways, no definitive direction. We got this crazy volume spike in from a news, from basically a tweet or social media news, however you want to word it or look at it. And where do you think price is likely to go next and why? So think about it. Every move should have a reason, right? So let's think about this. Is price headed to a liquidity target? Possibly, right? Is it doing a structural continuation? That's a possibility. Or is it rebalancing? Meaning, like doing a fair value gap fill. Like, is it rebalancing? I was thinking that it's possibly may rebalance, right? Because we have some unhealthy price action right here. We have a huge fair value gap, and price has came in here and retested it. Came in here once, retested it one other time. This is a pretty big gap. I was expecting. I'm thinking that price may rebalance here before it continues on. That's just my bias. That's what I think. Big bearish downside. I'm not for sure. I know last week was a losing streak for YM, the longest in a year. So I think they'll all be bullish this week. Got you. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna possibly rebalance here and then continue on bullish. I mean, at some point we should be. I've been waiting for a bear run. I'm expecting a bear run to happen pretty soon here. We've been hanging around this 8% line for a long time, for a while. Like this is going back. Let's see here. What's this? This is November. It's November last year. We've been hanging around this 8% line for a second. Yeah. This is September. November, kind of went above it, played up there a little bit, came all the way back down. That's February. And we've pretty much been playing in this area since February. If you just kind of look, you draw a big, huge box around all of this, you can see we've been playing in this area for a while. So I'm looking for a bull run at some point. Of course, when that's going to come, we don't know. But I'm looking for a bull run at some point. I mean, I know the news is, impacting a lot of why we're this low because of all the gas and oil prices and all of that stuff. I understand that, but still looking for a bull run at some point. We've been hanging down here very, very low. Grand Risings, Karate 357. Thanks for stopping in, my guy. I see NQ being very bullish. Yep. Jerome said he thinks so also. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing. So getting back to our question of the day, let me stay on point here. Remember, NQ typically moves towards equal highs, equal lows, toward prior session levels, which is liquidity points. We talked about this last week. And a direction with no context would kind of be like low probability, right? If you really break that down. A direction with no context would be low probability, right? Especially if you're thinking about a setup, right? That would be low probability, direction with no context. And right now we don't really have too much going on. At least both of my trades that I would trade, both of my my little strategies that I would trade are pretty much, let's see here. What's this? 630 right in here. I mean, I guess if this was the whole, this would be a This could be a daily, but I don't know. I'm not really knowing if I'm feeling that, considering just the volume and everything going on. But that is the setup is there. The setup, y'all. Market structure shift, fair value gap. Entry would be right at the top of this gap. Price would come and tap you in and go on, and you would take it to this pink line as a target. DS invalid. What made it invalid? It hasn't hit a daily level yet. Oh, too close for you? Yeah. Let's see here. What would that be? We'll just call it 567 to. It's not too bad. If you wanted to take it, Serena, it's not too bad. It would be here, right? Yeah, it would be there. And 567.25 to, it's not too bad. Let's see here, 30, 7, that's, excuse me, 33, another 29. That would be 62 times 4. That's 200 and some ticks. That wouldn't be too bad. You think it's too close? Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Wouldn't be too bad if you wanted to take it. It's not a bad one. It's a decent one. It's a decent one because it's still like 200 and some ticks. It just looks pretty close. It's 60. It's like 62 points. So that'd be what, 200 and what, 24, 248 ticks. 62 times 4. Yeah, 248. That's not too bad. It's pretty good. Like about $500. It's not too bad at all. I wouldn't think. Yeah, not too bad. I think anything closer, not 1-to-1. Gotcha. So for you, because it ain't 1-to-1, right? Gotcha. And also too, this would be the stop loss. So it'd be a huge stop loss because entry would be here. Stop loss would be here. Target would be there. So yeah, on that note, the risk consistency is not there. Absolutely. I would definitely agree to that. Even if you size down and went to 2 micros or 3 micros, you still would be upside down, right? Because your risk is way going to be way more than the reward in this case. And you're right, the risk consistency is not there, and it is too close based on that. Yep, I would agree with you. I was looking at the points, and the ticks are good. But if this was, and remember, it doesn't have to be 1-to-1 on DS, right? It's not really like a 1-to-1 trade. We're just shooting for this daily level. But when you consider where the stop loss is versus entry to target, then you're upside down. So on that note, I totally agree. Like, it's not invalid, but it's not a good R&R, and it wouldn't be high probability. Yeah, exactly. The high probability, exactly. It's like 0.45 R&R, and that's definitely not good. So for those reasons, you wouldn't, this is not a good trade to take. Setup is there, target's there, everything is there. Trade will probably hit, but from an R&R, from a risk management perspective, it's not a good trade on that note. Which would say yes, Serena, I would have to agree with you. Yes, it's too close. On that note, it's too close. Yep, not enough room. Now, if it was up here, possibly, but even then, the R&R might still be bad because stop loss is here. So yeah, great analogy on that. That's when it's times where you sit on your hands. Yep. There's times where you would sit on your hands. Like, this is a setup of mine, but because of like what Serena and I were just talking about, like the target is here, entry is here. Excuse me, entry's here. I'm just gonna draw a line so we can kind of get an idea. Entry was here, would be here. Let me change this to green. So my green line would be the entry. Take profit would be this daily level, this pink line, and stop loss will be here. Make this red. This will be stop loss. So These are the things that remember we talked about being professional decision makers, right? These are things that we would have to do immediately, like, to figure out, if that setup makes sense, right? Okay, so how did we just figure that out? Well, we had the setup. Here's our market structure shift. We have our close above the previous swing high, right? And then we had a fair value gap formed with this white candle and this blue one, a fair value gap formed. That's the two things that I need for my setup. And of course, price is headed towards, this is the closest daily, so that would make sense to target that. Entry would be this green line. Stop loss will be here, this red line. Take profit will be this pink line. Looking at this trade, the setup is there, but when you actually look at the risk on it, it doesn't make sense. We will be upside down as we were talking. So for the ones that kind of didn't catch the conversation her and I was just having, being that this is stop loss, our target's here, entry here, the R&R is just like 0.45. So it really doesn't make sense. Even though the setup is there, everything is there, it's just not a good trade because the risk is more than the reward. So that would be a trade we would sit on our hands. We wouldn't take it. The setup is there, but we wouldn't take it. That's why I always talk about when you back test your strategy, it'll help you understand like when you need to sit on your hands, when you not need to sit on your hands. Of course, if you're seeing situations like this in your strategy where your strategy sets up and your stop loss ends up becoming, stop loss is more risk there than it is to your target, that's a trade that you wouldn't take. That wouldn't be considered high probability, right? That's not a high probable trade for one main reason, because the risk is more than the reward. So in that case, you just wouldn't take it. So you leave it alone. So there are times where you get your strategy. This is a good example. Strategy shows up. It's a great setup. Everything is lining up. But one major issue, your stop loss is more than, your stop loss risk amount is more than what you would make if in the trade if your trade hit TP. So with that said, stay out. This is a good example right here. Good example. So I just wanted to run through that and explain to like why we wouldn't take that trade based on everything. That's the reason why we wouldn't take that trade. So it's not that the trade is invalid. The trade is still valid, but from a risk reward perspective, that's not a trade that you would want to take. That's the one you let that one go. You just let it go. Now, there's a 15-minute strategy that we do. That, of course, is invalid because we didn't have the two things that we needed. So that's invalid. So as far for me today on my trades for today, like only thing I could do is do a chop box. If they had it, I could do that. But this is a pretty decent one right here. Of course, y'all know I didn't take it, but just by looking at price action, you can kind of see what's going on. Like there's no definitive move. Prices, yeah, it's going up. It's retesting areas that price was already pretty much testing in overnight session. And it just looks right now, we're almost 30 minutes into the market open and no definitive move. So we looked at that, got some understanding as to why we wouldn't have taken a trade on the setup that we saw. Let's get back into this question of the day and let's just talk about this. Where price is likely to go and why. Once again, we know every move should have a reason, right? The move that price is making is a reason why it's making that move. It could be, a few different things. It could be, as we stated, we talked about how NQ likes the equal highs and lows, right? Liquidity zones. What else? Structure continuation, fair value gap rebalance. Those kinds of things are the things that NQ, does from a characteristic perspective. And if you go back and you look at the charts, as you can see right now, price is, we opened here. Price is doing what? Came, kind of hit this little level right here, kind of bounced off it, hitting it again. Looks like it might be coming back off it. So looks like it's just right now, it's not really doing too much, but it's finding highs and lows. Like it's hitting, of course, this ain't a low, but I'm saying highs and lows, meaning like, look, it came down and tapped right here, right into this fair value gap. This is our opening candle right here. That guy right there. That guy right there. That's opening candle. Came down, got up into this fair value gap. Boom, bounced off, made a low. As you can see, all the lows are in kind of the same area. It made a high, pretty much in some of the same areas that highs were made last night. And it's just giving us a little ranging. There's no definitive move. You can kind of tell. Now, if we get some tweets, some stuff go on, of course, we can see some of this over here. Let me move that over. We can see some of this manipulated price action because of news. Maybe we can have some of that over here, but that's only if, of course, someone's tweeting or something like that. But for the most part, this kind of looks like we might be having a rangy day today. That's what it looks like. So I don't know if y'all would want to trade in that. Me personally, I'm just gonna chill and just hang back and just kind of just see what price does. I don't have to trade today. Whoops, whoops, whoop. Got an HSS off silver. Think I'm done for the day. Nice. Nice. Oh, you're welcome, Serena. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think that pretty much kind of calls that what we talked about. But yeah, so as I stated, you guys, just kind of, going back into just looking at this, I'm seeing a lot of, you can see it. You can kind of see what's going on. Like, this is our opening candle, but if you look, this is us right here, right? Where we've been so far in New York session. If you look at this, even not knowing it's New York session, what does it look like? It's just kind of continuation of what's been going on from the night before. That's what it looks like. I mean, that's what we're seeing. That's what it's showing us. Kind of just looks like overnight session. So not too much there. If you haven't got into anything or your strategies that, has not set up for today, just sit on your hands. Demo trade. If you got to scratch the itch, just demo trade. So we got direction without context right now, right? Price is kind of doing what it's been doing. So really nothing there. So for me, let me go ahead on and do this, this a little eval I'm working on. I just got it. Let me log out. So no trades for me today. There's really nothing there. I don't feel like to force anything. I did have a setup, but because my risk was greater than the reward, it made no sense to take that trade. So today was a good example of when your trade sets up, strategy sets up, but the risk is more than the reward, you sit out. You don't take that trade. Because think about it, even if you size down, it doesn't matter. Because even if I'd have went to 1 micro, my risk would still been greater than my reward. So on something like that, we just sit out. Have a blessed day. I have an early doctor's appointment. That's what's up, Karate 357. Good luck with that, brother. Hope everything, works out with that. And definitely catch you tomorrow, man. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. So going back to our question of the day. My nose is a little stuffy. Going back to our question of the day. Yeah, like we said, NQ is always going to have a reason why it goes where it goes. Price action. Always going to have a reason why it goes where it goes. And today, what it looks like direction without context. That's what it looks like. So, which even made my trade pretty much a low probability trade, right? It's really no movement. There's nothing going on. So sat on my hands today. I did the smart thing. I protected my capital. I made sure that I didn't over leverage, because that would have been an over leveraged trade. I would have been over leveraging there. And I'm glad that I didn't do that. So it's good to break it down really quickly the way Serena and I did and realize, like, hey, the R&R ain't there. Just leave it alone. Wait for the next setup. Or just don't trade at all. Channels, what's good, bro? We got a new gap and a new possible low for possible longs, but sitting it out. Yeah, I'm going to sit it out too. What's good, bro? See, I knew you sounded a little different this morning. Yeah. A little sinus thing going on. It's all good. Trent looks tired. A little bit. It's just, I guess it's just a sinus thing. I slept okay, but it got my voice feeling all crackly and weird. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm showing up. Yeah, a little bit. I'll be good though. Like it ain't bothering me at all. So let's rock this tip of the day today. And tip of the day today is you don't need more trades. You need better decisions. You don't need more trades. You need better decisions. So let's think about that. You don't need more trades. You need better decisions. Straight up. Think about that. You don't need more trades. You need better decisions. Think about that. Think about that. So, with that stated, let's talk about that, right? Because more activity doesn't equal more profit, right? So we don't need more trades. So that's how we know that. More activity doesn't mean more profit, because the more activity, meaning the more trades we take, that means the higher probability we have of also being non-profitable in those trades. So we don't need more trades. Okay, I think I could start with 300. In a live account, you can start with 300 if you're trading micros. Of course, it's up to you to decide what you want to put in their channels, but you can start with 300 if you're trading micros. I would say just trade like 1 or 2 micros. Keep it real simple. You're only risking like 50 cents or $1. You can do that. He said, "LOL, I need that t-shirt." This hoodie, that's what's up. But yeah, channels, you can start it with 300. That's right, Impress. Facts. Absolutely. But yeah, you can start it with 300, my guy. You just got to remember, starting with 300 is a very small amount. So you need to be trading like 1 to 2 micros tops. And then when you double that, then you maybe can start trading maybe 2 to 3 micros when you get it to like 600. But you can start with 300. You just got to keep your units and your contracts very low. All right. So more activity does not equal more profit, right? So let's think about this. So think about it. One disciplined trade can outperform like 6 or 7 impulsive trades, right? One discipline can outperform those. So we know we don't need more trades. We need to make better decisions. Like today, if I'd have took the trade today, like let's say the trade did win, right? Let's say it won. Still, just because it won does not mean that was a good trade. That trade was I was upside down in that trade. That was like a bad loan. Think about it. That was not a good R&R there. That's you sit out on something like that. So that's making a better decision, right? And also, we don't need more trades. So I didn't take a trade. I made a better decision. The less trades we take, the better decisions that we make when we take those trades is going to have a better outcome. We're going to, those trades are going to outperform. So if I'd have took that trade today, it would have really been on impulse, because I had everything there to tell me leave that trade alone. Don't mess with that. Don't mess with that. We did the math on it. We saw it didn't make any sense. Stay away. So, also overtrading equals what? Mistakes, emotional fatigue, all that overtrading, just trading too much, taking too many trades. Like, you don't have to do that. Think about it. How many real setups are we truly going to see in a trading day? Like good setups. If you're scalping, of course it's going to be more, right? Like when you think about people that trade the hybrid super scalping strategy, right? The HSS, something like that. Of course, you're going to, you can see more trades, but the strategies that I trade, there's things that have to happen within these time frame windows. And if it doesn't happen, then that trade is null and void for me. So today there's nothing. So I have no trades today, which is fine. But the thing about it is I'm looking for, I'm looking for that one disciplined trade. I'm not trying to take a bunch of impulse entries. So just keep that in mind. You know what I mean? We get paid for precision, not participation, right? Think about it. We get paid for precision, not participation. Like we don't get paid because we're just jumping in a trade and we're a part of this trade. No, we get paid when we take trades based on precision. So that's what Serena and I were talking about in the chat earlier. And that's the trade that we both just decided like we're going to sit out. It doesn't make any sense to mess with that. It's not there. Leave it alone. Come back tomorrow. Protect your capital. You know what I'm saying? Show up on the charts with professionalism, right? treating our business as treating our trading as a business, right? So all of those things factor in. My discipline, right? My risk consistency, things that we've talked about in the past. What else? Knowing when to sit on your hand, on my hands, being a professional decision maker. These are all the things that we have to factor in when we are getting ready to place a trade, just the way you saw Serena and I did it. You know what I mean? We knocked it out pretty quickly. Like, she was like, wait a minute, it's invalid. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, it's not invalid. But it is it's not, the trade is not invalid, but it's invalid from the perspective that it's not worth taking. So if you think about it, the terms that we were using, even though maybe the terms may not have been correct, but the premise of what we were talking about was correct, because basically what we both were saying is you know what? We're upside down in that trade. The risk is way more than the reward. Sit out. It doesn't make any sense. And then Serena did the math. It's 0.45 R&R. We know we don't mess with that. We know we don't mess with that. We know we don't mess with that. We leave that alone. Like, there's no sense in chancing that. That would be a trade based off emotions, not based off strategy or structure, right? And once again, we're professional decision makers. We get paid for precision, not participation. So just keep that in mind. So that's a good example of what happened today. If that ever happens to you, you're in a trade and you see how you got to break it down way before you enter to even understand if it's worth entering. You got to do all of that stuff first. And then once you see that, and you know how you saw how quick we did the math, we've been trading this strategy for a while, so we understand how it works and we understand what we're looking for. That's why the back testing is so important, and the demo trading, because it's not just to get the historical data, but it's to get the repetitions and understanding like how the trade works, so to speak, meaning like there's going to be times where you're going to take your strategy and the stop loss is going to be, the risk is going to be good, the reward is going to be perfect. You're going to have your 1-to-1 or your 1-to-2. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be, that's great. You can rock with that. But there are going to be times where your trade is going to be, you're going to be upside down. Your risk is going to be more than the reward. And what the back testing does is it reveals some of those to you and tell you like, oh, this is a trade that I wouldn't have taken, even though you're back testing it, right? But still, you would be like, okay, these are the ones that I don't take. Whatever that strategy is when you're back testing, you're going to see stuff like that. You're going to see the times where your risk is more than your reward. And you're like, okay, these are the ones I don't take. That's why it's good to also back test. And then it's also good to demo, to forward trade, demo trade as well, forward test, demo trade for the same reasons, because you're going to be seeing these little things. Those are the things that you need to see outside of the analytics. This is what the repetition gives you. That's why the back testing is so important. And the forward testing, which is demo trading. All of those are very important. It's not just for the analytics, it's for the repetition of entering a trade. It's for the repetition of seeing different things that the trade gives to where you understand, oh, I've seen this before. This is one of the ones where I don't take this one. This is the one I let it be, because it doesn't make sense from a risk reward perspective. So, and that's one of the things we always want to be making sure that we're factoring in. We have to be what? Professional decision makers. So it's very important that we understand, where's my entry, where's my stop loss, and where is my target. Before you enter the trade, you're supposed to know those things before you even enter the trade. You should know that right off, because that's going to allow you to do a quick little summary in your head like, oh, this ain't worth it. My risk is too big. My reward is too small. Nope, sitting this one out. Or, hey, my risk is small on this one. My reward is big. This is even a higher probability trade. I'm getting in this one, so just got to keep those things in mind. It's very important to keep those things in mind. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. How many real setups versus random entries appeared? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's another thing you want to think about. What's a random entry? Just what it states, right? A random entry. Something that we shouldn't be taking. No one should be taking random entries. You should be taking a real setup. And if you're waiting for a real setup, you're going to have less real setups and a ton of random entries, right? Okay. That goes back to the whole not over trading, understanding that you don't need more trades. You just need to make better decisions, right? All of us. So today I made a really, really good decision. Serena and I both looked at this trade and was like, nah, we cool for the reasons that we stated. And that's how you break down every time you go to make a trade or you're deciding to enter a trade. Look at what it's giving you. Look at all the different components involved. And then you can make a good, well-rounded decision that, hey, I'm going to sit this one out based on these circumstances. And that makes sense. And think about it. We're not trading for activity, right? We're trading for accuracy. We're not trading for activity, meaning like we're not just trading to just make a bunch of trades just to be in trades. You can do that in your demo account. If you're live trading, you got prop firms, you got your live account. We're trading for accuracy. So that's the reason why we set out that trade. There was no way that we could have had accuracy there, because even if the trade won, but did we really win? Like if we would have took that trade, did we really win? Like let's break that down. Let's go. Let me go to that right now. That's something really, really good to discuss. This trade hit, right? Profit was the pink line, like I told y'all, right? Let's say Serena and I both took this trade today, right? And it hit. Did we really win? We're profitable, but did we really win? No, we did not. Let me explain to you why. We could have created a bad habit right there. What bad habit? The bad habit of taking a trade knowing that the risk was way more than the reward. We didn't win right there. That's not good for our trading psychology. What's good for our trading psychology to look at this trade and be like, hey, this trade would have hit, but we didn't take it because of the certain circumstances. That's how we want to build our trading psychology. That's how we want to build that. Just like that. To know that, yeah, you know what? This was my setup. I saw it, but my risk was way too high. I left it alone. That's where the win is. When I journal today, I can honestly say, you know what? Had a trade set up, but risk reward was upside down. Sat out based on discipline. That's what made me sit out. Discipline. Because we could have took the trade, could have took it, but that's not the kind of trades you take. That wasn't high probable. You know what I mean? So always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. Today was a good example. Like lately, the past 2 or 3 days from trading has been great examples of different things that's been happening within my strategies that you guys get to see. I made a mistake on one day, and I had to eat the mistake. I put my stop loss in the wrong spot. I forgot what happened one other day. Something went down. Today, the setup is there, but the risk was greater than the reward. Like these are all the times where you sit on your hands and you build that mental discipline. That's what's important. That's what's important. So today, we did win today. Remember, we talked about wins and losses, right? Wins are not necessarily profits, right? Wins could be you sat on your hands, you were disciplined, you followed your rules. You know what I mean? You calculated your risk. You didn't over leverage. You know what I mean? You exercised good risk management. Those are the wins. The profits and the non-profits, those are just business expenses, non-profits, and profits are, the business made some money. That's pretty much it. Everything else, though, is what's really important, right? The discipline, the not over leveraging, risk management, all of those things that go into prior to taking a trade. Those are where the wins are. How was my emotions? And I can tell y'all, I didn't feel like I needed to get into that trade. I didn't feel the urgency. I didn't feel any of that. I looked at it and I was like, you know what? Okay, it's the setups there, but wait a minute. And then we start breaking down the risk to the reward and like, nah, that's not a good one. Sit out. And I had no comfortable sitting out. I sat out, right? Also with that stated, what did I do? I logged out of my account. I'm good. I'm not trading today. I'm done. A couple of my setups, my 15-minute setup didn't work out. I needed to have another sell candle here, had a buy candle, so it invalidated that. My little setup I do on the 1 minute, it showed itself, but the risk was bad, so we sat out. No trades for us today. That's okay. So today we made a better decision. That's what's important. That's what's important. Remember, we get paid for precision, not participation. Just to keep it real simple. I feel like that's starting to happen for me, seeing warnings and not jumping into risky trades. Absolutely. That was a risky trade. So what you're telling me is I should be done because I'm up still and have not hit my daily for for TEF account, but it's still a profit. So exactly. You don't have to remember. You're not remember Morbid Drifter. We never want to go into the day saying that there's a predetermined amount that we want to make. Now, I do understand when it comes to our prop firm accounts, we have to keep our 20% consistency. That's cool, like as long as we don't go over that. But you don't have to make that every day. You just don't want to go over that. If your consistency is 300, if you can only make 300 in a day and you made 150, 100, couple hundred, 180, 170, whatever that was, it's good to shut it down. I mean, but you also trade the hybrid super scalping strategy, right? So because you're doing a scalping strategy, there may be more setups. With that, it's going to be up to you to determine when you stop. Because I know with scalping, most scalpers, they go, they trade more than one trade. It's hard to be one and done when you're scalping. I mean, unless you hit a good big trade, few $100, stay under your consistency level, and then you decide to just tap out there, that's cool too. But being a scalper, that's just something that you got to figure out. You got to figure out when you're gonna chill, like when you're gonna take your profits and shut it down and be done for the day, or if you're gonna continue on and take, a couple of more trades. That's something that you got to figure out. Being that I'm a strategy trader, for me, it's one and done. I see my strategy set up, I take the trade, I hit, it doesn't, I'm one and done either way. So for me, it's a little bit easy. It's a little bit easier to make that decision. So yes, but it's something that you just got to just keep in mind. But we don't need more trades. We need better decisions. So just always keep that in mind. And remember, we're not trading for activity, we're trading for accuracy. And remember, as professionals, we get paid for our precision, not our participation. I say all of these things to get these things to stick in our head. So with that said, although you missed what I would first say, which was proving your point you were trying to get out. Scroll up. Oh, let me see. Where at, my guy? Got my 1 or 2 last night on MGC. Should have stopped, but I went for another small and lost. So I'm trying to decide if I should hold off since I'm still up or go for a third trade. Well, let me say this. If you got your 1 or 2 off micro gold last night, right? You were supposed to be one and done. But as you stated, you went for another small and loss. Remember, that's why we want to be one and done. If you got 1 or 2, I mean, you double, you know what I'm saying? You got a 1 or 2, you can shut it down, bro. It ain't worth going back into the market. And if I was you, I wouldn't do a third trade. I would stay up. We don't ever want to give our profits back. We don't want to, that's the whole point. We do not want to give our profits back. Yep. Based on what you did, to answer your question now, yes, you should be done. Yep. You should be done. Absolutely. You should have been done right after you got your 1 or 2 last night. You're done. You're good. Shut it down. You don't have to now. See, now you're tempted to take a third trade because you took your first one. It kind of works this way. You took your first one, right? You got your 1 or 2. You decided to go back in when you really didn't need to, but you went back in and you lost. So now you're feeling like you need to go in for a third trade. That's one of the reasons why we want to be one and done if we can. Yeah, absolutely. 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 Be done, bro. Take them profits and bank them. Come back tomorrow. That's what I say. Safer that way. And for anyone new on the stream, I appreciate you being here. If you can, hit me up with those free likes. Subscribe to the channel. That helps push the content out. Feel like I'm getting my little groove back. My little sinus stuff ain't really bothering me too much. But yeah, I'm glad you decided to stay out, Morbid Drifter. Excuse me. I'm glad you decided to stay out. Look, what's price is doing? Look at that. Top of that wick is just about at the top. Let me show y'all this. It's going to show how price be moving. So look, price just made this, right? This high right here, right? Well, what could be a high. If you look at my crosshair going all the way across, it pretty much lines up with this the top of this wick right here, just about, not identical, but still same vicinity. Look at that, right? So it looks like price is kind of just following what it did overnight. Yeah, I'm done. It's too good of advice. Gonna go take a nap after this and take a nap after this. Have been able to do that since I started. Cool, man. That's what's up, brother. But yeah, y'all can see, looks like we're just having a continuation of what price was doing from overnight session. So this would be, well, this is actually our highest London point right here. But price is kind of playing around. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I guess you can get little points in there, but for my strategies, I'm done for the day. So going back to tip of the day, excuse my low tone today. I'm usually a lot more enthusiastic, but I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. I'll be good for tomorrow. Love the content. Already subscribed. That's what's up, Nairo. Appreciate it. Yeah. We come in here and we vibe on everything trading psychology. Took an L today, one and done. There you go. That's what's up, cause like one thing I've noticed, brother, you know when to shut it down. You make some bread, you shut it down. You know what I mean? You're not profitable for the day, you shut it down. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. You know, keep everything in perspective. So you don't need more trades, you need better decisions. So we talked about that, right? We'll run through it one more time. Precision, not participation, right? Activity or accuracy. We want accuracy. We don't want to just be active. We want accuracy. Being active is just taking too many trades. There's no structure. There's no discipline. Also, too, we don't want to create any kind of emotional fatigue or make mistakes based on overtrading. We don't want to do that. So remember, we don't need more trades. We just need to make better decisions. We are professional decision makers. And with that stated, you know what I mean? That is our tip of the day. Do you guys have anything for me today? I'm demo trading today and back testing. That's what's up, Ray. Yeah, do that. That's what's up. For those that haven't liked, y'all like me up. Once again, please. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And 2 wins is a good day. Yeah, 2 wins is a good day. If you was able to snatch bread out the market twice, shut it down. Move on. I got I think Serena. Yeah, Serena, I got that. Where's I got something for you, Serena. We were talking about this, right? Remember this? Yeah, Serena. I remember you had mentioned that, so I was like, you know what? Let me let me get that on there for us. So that's my little gift, y'all. When we done for the day, we shut it down. That's my little gift that I would always put out. That we shut it down. One and done, we shut it down. We done for the day. Shut it down, shut it all down. Absolutely. But yeah, y'all got anything for me? Yeah, forward testing is goated. Absolutely. Forward testing is goated. What y'all got for me? Funny thing is, HSS strategy is taught and recommended for New York session, but I seem to have great luck after 6 p.m. Hey, man, if it works, it works. Antonio laughing. Yeah, more drifter, if it works, bro. Like, for real. If it works, rock with it. If it works, it works. You know what? I'm going to try something. Let me see something. Hey, look, sis. Hey. What she say? What can Larry say? Forward testing is goated. Boom. I'm gonna start doing that, y'all. I'm gonna start adding y'all comments to the stream. Every time somebody got to make some good comments, I'm adding them to the stream. That's what we're gonna start doing. I'm gonna start highlighting your comments. What we got? More drifter laughing. Okay, I remember the first day I saw you use that GIF. It was after a big loss, and it gave me the laugh I needed to get my head out of the dump from my loss. That's what's up. Quick question. I'm working on. That's what's up, Serena. That's my thing. Working on 2 strategies, but I'm logging only 1 strategy on Wellbo. On Wellbo? Okay. Should I take my trade on my other strategy because I see it come up, or should I wait for my original? Well, I'm going to say this. This is the reason why I recommend, let me put that up here. It's Ben. So let me put that up there. So the reason why I recommend, this is Ben's question, and I put this one up here because I think this is a good one. Quick question, he said, I'm working on my 2 strategies, but I'm logging only 1 strategy on Weibo. Should I take my trade on my other strategy because I see it come up, or should I wait for my original? Or just basically just wait for its original setup is what he's saying, and keep the journal accurate. So this is what you do. This is why I recommend only learning 1 strategy at a time. Right here. This is the reason why. Because if you're learning 1 strategy, you don't want to be in your head about another strat, right? You want to focus on 1. So I would say learn 1 first. Because think about it. If you have just 1 strategy that you're learning, then you don't have to worry about losing focus on the strategy you're learning because you're trying to learn another strategy, right? We need to focus on 1 strategy at a time. That means back testing 1 strategy, forward testing 1 strategy, demo trading, same thing. 1 strategy at a time. When you get that one down, then jump to the next strategy. That is the best way to do it. I would have focused on 1, my guy. Yeah. Now, the other strategy that you have, tuck that one. I ain't saying do away with it. Just tuck it for a moment. Like put it up, put it to the side. Work on your 1 and get that going. When that one's going, then jump to the next one. That's the way I was taught. That's the way I did it. And I know learning strategies, is really the best way to do it. 1 strategy at a time. Because there's so many things going on, right? We want to make sure we got that 1 strategy down. Then we have it down and we know we got it down, then we'll move to the next one. We'll move to the next strategy. But 1 at a time. That is the most easiest and most advantageous way to do it. And yes, and keep journaling it. And earn my first payout today. That's what's up, Jerry Jack. Earn that first payout today. That's what's up, my guy. That's fire. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Earn that first one a day. Nice. That's dope. That's dope, bro. Congrats on that. Congrats. Keep it going. Whatever you did to get to that first payout, you should be reduplicating the same thing. Don't change nothing. Don't get in your head and think, oh, I need to do this. No. Whatever you did to get to that payout, reduplicate that. Hopefully you were journaling. I'm only going to give you the benefit of the doubt to say, yes, you were journaling. Go through that journal. Scour that journal. See of course, your entire journal is important, but we're speaking from the perspective of payouts, right? Every trade that you took to get to that payout, you should be reading over that in your journal. Like go check that. Go double check that. Double check it. Why? You want to see what you did. You want to read it. You want to see what you did. You know why? Because you want to reduplicate that. Whatever that was you did, you want to reduplicate that. Of course, if you made some mistakes in there, of course not the mistakes, but you couldn't have been making too many mistakes if you got to a payout, right? The proof is in the pudding, as they would say. So with that stated, go back to your journal. Go through every trade that got you to that payout, and you want to reduplicate that every day. Not every day that you trade, because we don't have to trade every day, but every day that you do take a trade, whatever day it is that you do trade, you want to reduplicate that. Was going to try London breakout strategy, but after looking at what happened in London session, I said nope. Yeah, man, just focus on 1 strategy. Focus on 1 strategy. Morbid Drifter, I see what you're doing. Yeah. And that goes to you and Ben. Just focus on 1 strategy and perfect that strategy. And once you get that strategy perfected and you have it mastered down where you're when that strategy comes up, you're killing it, you see it, you know all the inner workings of that strategy, good, bad, or indifferent. And once you get that down, then you can move to another strategy. Was just curious. Do y'all know if all brokers have dormant fees? Um, I don't think all brokers have dormant fees. I know you mentioned that. I've never heard of that, but I'm very active in my account, so I guess that's not anything that I would even see. I wouldn't see any dormant fee issues because I'm very active in all my accounts. So with that said, it's really hard to do. But yeah, Jerry Jack, like whatever you did, my brother, whatever you did, follow the same thing. If there's something there you can tweak, of course, like, you something like maybe you may have rushed the entry, or I'm just hypothetically speaking. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I'm just giving examples. Like if there's something that you did that it's not part of your trading psychology, of course, do away with that. But everything else, just follow it to a T, bro. That's the best thing I can do. You might want to change the text color if you can when you put up. Yeah, I noticed that it was dark. I'm gonna have to go with some black or some red or something like that. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for that, Soaking Insider. Yeah, I had already said that to myself. I was like, I gotta change that color because it washes it out with the background. But definitely, but yeah, I'm gonna there's a little text box. I'm gonna put it in with some different colors. But yeah, absolutely, because I want to start putting y'all comments up on the screen when y'all have good comments. I think that's a good way for the engaging point. Not only that, but also too, like for the community to see, like see all of these great trade geniuses that we have in here, all these great smart minds that we have in here, and people are actually, we're all building, right? So Jerry Jack got that first payout. I know how that feels. That's an amazing feeling. Getting your first payout, man, that is an amazing feeling. And that's why I said whatever you did to get there, not just trade wise, emotionally, psychologically, like all of those things matter. So that's why we need to be journaling so we can go back and look at that. Like look at your trades. How was your emotions when you got in that trade? Where did you feel urgency? Did you feel rush? Did you feel like, it's good to list those emotions if you are feeling emotions, because what you want to do is you want to go back. Your journal is what's going to help you, is what's going to help propel you forward, because you're going to go back and look at different things and be like, okay, yes, I was profitable on this trade, but I was feeling some emotions. Okay, I got to work on that. You in another trade, you take another trade, you put down the different things that were going on, and you say, yeah, I got to work on that. So it gets to a point to where you have all of these different analytics on yourself, not just the actual trade, but also on yourself to understand what you need to be doing from an emotional perspective. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much why the journaling is so important, and why, stating your emotions in there, as well as the other things, the time you took to trade, the price point you took it at, what your stop loss was, the price point of your stop loss, how you was feeling, if the trade was profitable, the amount it was profitable, if it was non-profitable, the amount it was non-profitable. Like all of those things matter. The time of day, all of that matters. The ticker you took it on, how many contracts you went in, all of those things matter. Should be a detailed list of everything in that trade. That's why it's a journal, everything. And there it is. But that's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. I want to start seeing some more of that in here. I want to start seeing, some more of these trade geniuses in here talking about the payouts that you guys took. So we're just all a work in progress, and we just gonna keep, grinding away till we get there. But hey, if I can do it, Jerry Jack, whoever, everyone can do it in here. No one's no better, no nothing. The only thing that makes us better than one another is the ones that put in the more work. That's it. You're not better by default. We're all the same, right? But the ones that tend to be a little bit better than others are the ones that put in more work. So just put in the work and you'll be fine. Straight up. That's all you got to do. This is not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. This is just technical. Trading is technical. That's all. It's not hard. It's just technical. But that's what's up. So for the ones that ate today, I'm glad y'all ate. Ain't really too much going on. I'm gonna jump back over here to the screen share. As you can see, price, if you look at it, it just looks like what? A continuation of everything that was just kind of going on last night. Look, what market opened here, right? Kind of gave us a little bullish action, some bullish action, made a high there, and kind of coming down a little bit, not too much volumes, kind of rangy. If you look at it, all looks like overnight session, even though I know this is the start of New York, but I'm just saying that this looks like a continuation of last night. So if you sat on your hands, you protected your capital, it's still a win for you today. If you feel the itch to trade, just demo trade. Other than that, man, I'm gonna go in, you know what I'm saying, try to do something with this little sinus stuff I got going on and try to be even a lot more ready for tomorrow. But other than that, nothing for me today, y'all. I'm no trade for me today, which is no big deal. Your Tradegheenyuz charged me $35 for not ever using my account. I set it up when I started, so it was ready to go whenever I am. Bad decision, I guess. Yeah, I never heard of that before. That's something new. I've never heard of that. I don't know. Do you have a membership with? You don't have a membership with Tradegheenyuz, right? You just have an account that you open with Tradegheenyuz, right? No one should be having Tradegheenyuz memberships or being a member of Tradegheenyuz. You should just be you should be opening an account. Thank you, Serena. Appreciate that. You should just be opening an account and then just funding your account, and that's it. Remember, no membership on Tradegheenyuz. You just want to fund the account and pay for the data. Your membership will be on TradingView and no data on TradingView. Just remember that. Data and no membership on Tradegheenyuz, and on TradingView just the opposite. Membership on TradingView and no data. So other than that, if y'all ain't got none for me, man, y'all have a great remainder of y'all day. Excuse me. I'ma I got like some herbs and some stuff that I'm about to go take right now and get my little self together. But other than that, I hope everyone had a decent day today. If you sat on your hands, you still won today. If you had a non-profitable trade, no big deal. You just paid the business expense. Hopefully you had your risk in order to where that business expense wasn't a large amount. Other than that, y'all have a great remainder of y'all day. Sorry for being a little under the weather and not being as enthusiastic as I normally am. But I'm gonna get it together and we gonna be right for tomorrow for sure. But with that said, man, y'all have a blessed remainder of y'all day. Thanks for stopping in. For everyone that's new on the channel, please subscribe. Let me get them free likes. Other than that, I'll see y'all first thing tomorrow for sure. Regardless how I feel, I will be here. All right? Blessings. See y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all. And shout out to our co-founders for the Edge Funder at Juvier, Scalp God, my brothers. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And y'all have a blessed remainder of y'all day. Thank you, y'all.